Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome to Red Storm Chasers. I'm Vincent here with Craig, Tim, and Nick. Johnny's fans, you've been waiting, you've been listening, you've been holding your breath, hoping that this day would come. And it's here. The Rick Pitino era has officially begun. We've got 12 new players. It's a brand new season. We're coming in with perhaps the greatest college basketball coach of all time. It's going to be an exciting year, one way or the other. We've had SportsCenter come and do their show out of Carnesecca Arena. We opened the New York Stock Exchange, and that was just in the past 2 weeks. It's electric. The mood at St. John's is electric heading into this season.
Like nothing we've ever seen before. Well, nothing we've ever seen in a very, very, very long time.
Nothing I've ever seen, I remember in my entire lifetime.
Right, nothing I've ever seen. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had tip-off was sold out to the rafters. 2 Chainz was there. It was the energy was insane. It's just a different world, different world that we're living in. It is a world that we have dreamed of being in, that we a lot of times thought of ourselves in, but no one else did.
No one else. Ever.
But now we're really there. I mean, we're almost ranked in the preseason top 25. We have respect now. People respect us because they respect Pitino. So all of a sudden,
No, we're not ranked, so maybe a little disrespect.
well, we had a lot of losing.
A lot more respect than we've had in previous years. for sure.
Absolutely.
To be fair, we turned over an entire roster. to not be ranked, I don't know if that's the craziest thing in the world, but hey, you never know.
Well,
What I love most is going around now in the city, or we're in New Jersey, even around New Jersey, you see a lot more St. John's apparel around everywhere. And
Absolutely.
It's just,
People are excited.
people are excited.
And
We keep
rightfully
buying.
so.
Just look at the people we turned. Some of the people we got, the new 12 new faces. We got Chris Ledlam, who committed to Tennessee, went to Tennessee, got knee surgery, and then went, no, St. John's the place to be. Wilker, he committed to UNC. We flipped a UNC commit.
Yeah.
When was the last time St. John's has flipped a UNC commit?
We're playing in a different weight class than we've played in a very, very long time.
And what do they all say? It's because of Rick Pitino.
Yeah. I mean, there's
That's the difference.
There's no doubt about the reason why we're here, right? I mean, we all know it's Rick.
Daddy Rick.
He just instantly gives credibility. I mean, he's won everywhere he's gone. There's just no doubt about that. He's won everywhere he's gone. And what do you say? He's going to jump in the East River if we don't win a national championship?
Yep.
Whew.
That's cold water. That's cold, dirty water right there.
That is some dirty water, but...
Let's keep Rick out of there. I mean, he is in his 70s.
Oh, look,
So,
Cold blood doesn't affect
he
us.
is, my guess is he has no thought that he's actually going to have to go to East River because he's pretty confident we're going to win a national championship.
From his lips to God's ears.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a little bit look at this season as we are so hyped about.
You can't just revel on Rick Pitino a little bit more?
You can't talk that much. Eventually you're beating a dead horse.
Never.
Obviously 27th, if you will, in the rankings. We received the second most votes of teams not ranked in the AP poll to start the season. In terms of the Big East preseason poll, 5th, which is exactly where we were last year, which is a kind of a funny turn. But I think that shows the strength of the Big East Conference, to be honest. Marquette is one. I think this is maybe the first time in a long time the Big East hasn't had a unanimous preseason number one. Marquette had 7 votes for number one. Creighton also had 4 votes for number one. So they're 1, 2, UConn 3, Villanova 4, St. John's 5. So it shows how tough this conference is. Obviously, we're excited about Rick Pitino. Our team is 12 new faces, so you're never really sure quite until it comes out on the court what's going to happen. But this is not going to be an easy road.
No, it's the best basketball conference in America.
Of course.
I mean, think about the defending national championship, who has many guys coming back, is not consensus number one team in the conference this year. You know what I mean? They're third. You know what I mean? So didn't even get any first place votes. Didn't get a first place votes. And they're the defending national championship. So that just shows how deep this league is. I mean, you got 4 ranked teams, and then you have us, we're ranked in many, consensus things.
Xavier's 6, and they've got votes to be ranked as well.
We could easily get this. We get 7 teams in the tournament. 7, 8, who knows?
7 would be the highest percentage of all time.
That would be amazing. We could do it.
That would be 70% of our league, by the way.
No, it would be a little bit less.
No, you're right.
We have
Sorry,
11.
we have 11.
I know DePaul doesn't really get very
Never
far.
been, in math, never been my strong suit.
DePaul's not. They're there in spirit.
No, we have 11. I just am terrible at math. All right, first game of the season, Tuesday, home at Carnesecca Arena against Stony Brook, 7 p.m. It's on Fox Sports 1. Going to be a great atmosphere, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, as you said, tip-off was sold out, right? The first game at Carnesecca, Rick Pitino era, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. It's got to be.
I mean, absolutely. I think, again, it's Carnesecca. It's in a tight environment, and we always have a great home court advantage in Carnesecca, so we will really get to see this in full force, I would imagine.
Yeah, Carnesecca is going to be loud. It's going to be hopping. It's the first game of Rick Pitino era. You know what I mean? And the students are all there. It should be a very. It always gets really loud in there. It should be nice and sweaty in Carnesecca, as it always is when everybody's packed in the house.
I hope they got the Coke and water guy. As long as they got the guys with the backpacks selling the sodas in the upper deck, that's how you know it's a big game at
They
St.
need to bring
John's.
that back.
Hey, they sell beer now again. Let's not
I know, but I appreciate the backpack soda. I think it's a great system.
classic.
I don't think they'll have it for this game because it's Stony Brook, but if they do, I think that'll be a real showing of kind of the moves we made
As a program.
to get here as a program. It's the simple things in life, Nick. If I can buy a Coke in the upstairs without getting out of my seat, you know what I'm saying?
Well, he might be the Voodoo Ranger Bronx Ale guy now. Who knows?
I'm okay
You
with
get a
that.
beer in your seat too. That'd be great. All right. Obviously, this is a roster that looks nothing like the old roster, but even that would be an understatement. There is 2 returning players, 2, just 2. One of them is Drizza Traore, who played, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes last year.
He did.
But
Proud of every one of those minutes.
I'm proud of every one of those minutes. Not to knock Drizza, I'm a big fan.
Great fan.
But it's funny that of the people to return, he's one. So obviously the other.
He got a good, good mentality. Obviously,
He's got that dog in him.
He's got that dog in him. That's why Rick Pitino kept him.
Hey, look,
all right?
and
Rick Pitino
look,
had his pick of the litter. He said, "Hey, listen, these are the guys I want back."
in Rick we trust. If
Joel
Rick saw
Sori-
something in him, that's what we believe.
Joel Soriano and Drizza Traore.
Yeah, he goes, oh, the guy from Long Island. They go, Corbello? No. Pinzone? No. Drissa? Yeah. But think, when he redshirted, he was game ended. He's shooting free throws. He's doing drills. Drissa had that kind of mentality already.
Yep,
And
I
that's
agree.
what Rick wants.
Absolutely.
He wants hustle. He grades on hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody who didn't work.
Yeah. So, perfect fit.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Who's the other guy that can stick around?
I said Joel Soriano.
No, I know. I was just leading in so we could talk about Joel Soriano.
No, I mean I said it. If you were paying attention, Craig, you would have
I'm
known.
sorry. I was so excited about Drissa.
Who,
Do you mean preseason first team All Big East?
Yeah.
Joel Soriano.
That
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Correct.
That
or Joel Soriano, who dunked on Boogie in Vans at Stepanak.
Or
Or was it Stepanak? Where did he go?
Tim, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What?
Stepanak is a high school.
Yeah.
Boogie
No,
Flynn.
I knew Stepanak was a high school.
The top New York.
Boogie Flynn went to Stepanak.
Yeah. Because Joel went there. He
Oh.
visited, and there's a little clip video of him playing a little quick game of 1-on-1. And he's like, oh, go ahead, shoot the 3. He drills a 3, drills another 3. And he's like, okay, fine. He drives on him, playing 1-on-1. And he's just wearing Vans and just slams it down on him. And I go, ooh. Number 1 college player?
Joel Soriano's hitting the threes.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah,
If we can get Joel Soriano to shoot threes,
why do you think he committed to Kentucky?
dynamic. What?
Boogie committed to
I'm
Kentucky.
talking about Joel Soriano. I said
know.
it's Joel Soriano hitting threes.
Yeah, and that's why Boogie didn't want to deal with that.
God, stay on track, Tim. Come on.
I am on track. You're disappearing on my statements about Boogie getting dunked on and getting threes in his face by Joel Soriano.
I mean, it's a small story, Tim. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know what you were talking about to start with, but anyway,
Now you know.
Well, now you know.
the more you know. All right. So Joel Soriano, obviously the face you know. He's our big man. We all know plays center.
Mr. Double Double.
Mr. Double Double, as Nick mentioned previously. Big East all season. Preseason. First team.
Soriano was even up for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Center of the Year award.
Preseason.
Preseason, right. hopefully, I mean, at
On
the
the-
end of
on
the
the
year,
watch list.
On the watch list, he's gonna win it by the end of the season. I was just foreshadowing.
That's it. You're just pre-assuming.
Getting ready.
All right, let's run through our roster because obviously all these names are new, and that's what we do here at Red Storm Chaser Podcast. We make sure you're informed about St. John's basketball. So,
That's what we do.
a little infomercial there.
In case you were wondering what this Red Storm Chaser
in case
podcast
you
is
stumbled
about.
upon Red Storm Chasers, we're talking about St. John's basketball.
Not St. John's, the island in the Caribbean.
I mean, we could. It's beautiful.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
And not storms that are red.
Not storms that are
I mean, some storms can be red. If we want to talk about hurricanes, they can be. If on the weather map, they can be red. We could talk about those too, but this is not the time for that. Right now, we're going to talk about the roster for this year. All right, running down the roster in number order, just for easiness
so you
sake.
can look in the court. And know
So
who
you can
it's
look on the
talking
court. Know the numbers. All right, number 0, starting off good, big numbers. Cruz Davis. He is a guard
about. From Iona, right?
from Iona. He came along with our guy Rick.
That boy.
One of those. He's a Texas kid, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. One of the couple Texas kids we got. They're probably still celebrating their championship with the couple of pickup trucks that took the whole Texas Rangers there.
Listen, shout out to the Texas Rangers because they went from winning the least amount of games to being the World Series champions in 2 years.
And they beat the Astros.
And the lowest
And they beat the
rated,
Astros. Anytime you can beat the Astros,
yeah.
you're plus in my book. So.
also probably the lowest rated World Series ever.
No.
Pretty low.
It was pretty low. It was like the
Phoenix and Dallas?
No, but you see the numbers? The numbers are actually
Yeah.
very low.
All right, you're right.
I mean, people actually watched it. It was pretty low.
The best game was Game 1, and it got the lowest Game 1 ever.
Yeah, I
Great
mean,
game.
that's fair.
Game 1 was a great game.
It was good.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're not barn burning teams. We're not talking a Yankees
Yeah, I
Dodger
disagree.
World Series. So, but anyway,
But Cruz Davis healing up his hand right now. It seems like a lot of people were messing up their hands lately. Probably diving for balls. All that hustle.
we like hustle. We
Yep.
love hustle.
Cruz Davis getting healthy.
Alrighty. Number 2 on the roster, Sediku Abin Ayo.
Ayo.
Hey, yo.
Maybe came close. I apologize for butchering the name. From Ghana
And Iona.
and Iona.
By way of Iona.
Another guy who came over with our guy Rick.
It's like we had a connection or something.
That's you can see a little bit of a pattern forming.
What's good, though, they know the way Rick plays, and they have the
Listen,
built-in.
Iona was a tournament team last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
No, yeah,
And
for sure.
the Iona players he brought over,
And they took it
Our-
to Connecticut.
they did take it to Connecticut. They almost beat him, if only. The guys he brought over are the guys that he sees as talent that can be huge additions to this team.
Absolutely.
So you got to trust in Rick, and we'll see it out on the court.
It's going to be the motto of the year.
Number 3 on the roster, Jordan Dingle.
UPenn.
Great name. Transfer from UPenn,
Yep.
Second leading scorer in all of the
All of-
NCAA last year.
All of it.
college basketball.
So that's a great addition for us.
Highest scoring transfer.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're number 2 in all of the college basketball,
Yeah.
Ivy League Player of the Year last year.
Yep.
Obviously, then first team.
And now he gets to play. Now he gets to play off the ball. He doesn't have to score everything, but he can score everything.
Yeah, listen, anytime you go from a team like Penn where you're an all-star, right? I mean, you're clearly the best player on the court, to having players around you who are on your level, it's gonna boost you, right? Or at least that's the hope, is that it boosts you because you're now playing with. You can now focus on what you're best at instead of having to take care of things that you would have with guys who aren't as good. Right? It's just
Sure.
the way it goes, and the hope for Jordan Dingle is that shines true, and he's now the leading scorer in college basketball
And we'll
this
take
year.
that.
Because that's where the improvement is. Wearing number 4 this year, transfer from none other than the national championship UConn Huskies.
I went to upgrade, huh?
That's it. When things get stingy in storage, you got to come down to the much better New York City. We're talking about Naheem Aline. He's a 6'4" guard transfer, obviously from UConn
Transfer from Vodtech as well.
by way of Vodtech. Long time transfer. Guy likes different schools. He's just playing it out. He's a grad transfer, so we'll only have him for 1 year, but it'll be fun to see him this year. All right, Danish Jenkins wears number 5. He also came from Iona along with Rick.
He did. He's going to be the floor general, or he was the floor general for Iona, so I'm assuming that's the role he'll play.
With the loss of Plosh Alexander, R.I.P., I would assume he'll be our
R.I.P. I mean, he just transferred. I don't think he didn't die.
To me, he's dead.
Oh wow.
I mean, he's still in the Big East.
That's why he's dead. We're gonna have to face him this year.
Still
So,
love him.
so him and Posh.
No,
Posh
all
and,
respect to Posh.
all
Good
love
luck
to
out
Posh.
there. We love Posh. So
Just
wish,
not
wish him
just
the
not
best.
twice a year.
Hey, listen, it's okay. He can play well the whole
That's
rest
fine.
of the year.
Yeah.
That's fine.
and Wusu.
And
Wusu, too.
Wusu, yeah, a little less, but yes. Just kidding. I like Wusu too. All right, number 7, Simeon Wilcher, a 6'4" freshman, didn't transfer from anywhere.
Nope.
because he is a commit. He's one of Rick Pitino's first commits
From Jersey.
from Plainfield, New Jersey. Shout out New Jersey. Shout out Plainfield.
Union County.
One of only 2 freshman recruits that will be on this roster. All right, number 8 is Chris Ledlum, the Harvard transfer.
Again, another one. Upgrading his education.
Yep.
They call us the Harvard of Queens.
That's right.
what they call it.
Second jump from Harvard.
Yep.
You know, there's a pattern.
and
Let's hope it
hopefully a
works
lot
better for the
better.
best. Let's hope this one works for the best.
You see Oakland University in the background, just looking at him like, oh yeah.
Like the guy in the meme sneaking behind the tree. That's
Yep.
Oakland University every time. In case you don't know what we're talking about, referring to Max Hooper, who transferred from Harvard.
I believe he's the all-time leading 3-point percentage.
That sounds
No, I think
3-pointers made in a
3
single
pointers made in a
season.
single season. Because there was a time after he transferred from us, he went to Oakland.
he was really good at 3-point shooting at
He
Harvard.
only shot.
Really terrible at St. John's, and then really great at Oakland again.
He only shot 3-pointers. He shot 0 2-pointers the entire season.
Yeah, there you go.
Impressive, actually.
Number 11, you know him, you love him. His name's Joel Soriano. We already talked about him enough, I think.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about him consistently this year, I'm sure. Number 12, R.J. Luis Jr., a UMass transfer.
He has a broken hand right now.
But projected to be ready.
Oh,
Is he projected to be right?
Projected to be ready.
Okay.
Tim got the scoop, Craig.
Then he scooped me. That's
Maybe
good.
maybe pay
Hey,
attention.
That man's a 6'7" shooter.
Sounds like someone did their homework, and it wasn't Craig.
It wasn't me.
Number 24 on our roster is Zuby Ejiofor. He is a Kansas transfer.
Another one from a lesser program coming to a better program.
Craig says it every time.
It's funny.
He
And
thinks
it's
the
funny
line
every time.
Well, it was funny the first 2 times.
I mean, you had to
know.
look at it and go, Bill Self or Rick Pitino.
Well, listen, that's a real
Upgrading
competition. And listen, when you're turning a when you're turning a UNC commit, you're getting a guy from a national championship team from UConn, and you're adding a guy from Kansas. I don't know. Those are pretty, historic programs. You're doing something right, and not
playing
that,
in a different
not
weight
that anyone
class.
doubted that of Rick Pitino.
No,
but
100%.
Just saying. All right, number 30 is Sean Conway. He is a VMI transfer.
Military.
Yeah, they are a military school.
Yep. Now he gets to wake up a little later.
Good for him. Craig,
I'm sure he appreciates that.
what do we say, Craig? Improvement from
Yeah.
VMI? Oh, no, VMI is where we draw the line. All right,
No,
good to know.
VMI.
35, Glenn Taylor Jr. from Cheyenne, Nevada, an Oregon State transfer.
Yeah.
Pac-12.
Gets to play
Pac-12.
One of the few Pac-12 teams remaining.
The only one of two
two.
Pac-12
One of two.
teams actually remaining.
Pac-2, should I say.
The
And,
Pac-2.
and the slowest Pac-12 and one of the slowest teams that played offense. So now he gets to be a little fast-paced.
Shout out to the
good.
Beavers for trying to fight the fight and stay alive in the Pac-12 when everybody else left them. All
Yeah.
right. Number 44 is Brady Dunlap, the other freshman on this roster.
Yep. Mr. TikTok.
Mr. TikTok. That is something that St. John, I think, is going to be an interesting interaction with the St. John's crowd. How many St. John's fans do you think have TikTok on their phone? If you had the ballpark, a percentage, I won't give you a real number, but at Carnesec Arena at Stony Brook, against the Stony Brook game, what
if
percent?
you take out the students.
If you take out the students, because you
Take out
can't
the
use you
students.
can't do the
You can't take
students.
out the students.
You have to because
no, if they have a ticket, they kind of
no, you can't use the students because 100% of the students probably have
Yeah.
TikTok. So you have to remove the students because that's not the real question. The question is everybody who subtract the students. What percentage of the St. John's fans there have TikTok on their phone?
I would say 26,
No.
27%.
No way. 5.
5. Wow.
If you're taking out the
You're
student
taking out
section,
students. Yeah.
maybe not 5.
No,
I'll
you
go.
got
I'll go,
parents that probably have it because their
I'm
kids have it.
I'm gonna go with 10. I'm gonna go with 10%.
I would say 15.
I'm gonna say 10.
I want to go 15.
I would go mid-20s because of parents having it.
I just don't think there's enough. I don't.
Well, I'm not saying a little shameless plug. Our TikTok does pretty well, so
Oh, good turn, Tim.
Attaboy, Tim.
That's what we like to see.
What's the handle of our TikTok?
well, it's the same thing as we have for our Instagram, our YouTube, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Gmail is Red Storm Chasers. We
Shoot us
own
an
it.
email. Let
We
us know.
own- Yeah. Shoot us an email
Let
if
us
you
know
want
your
us.
thoughts.
If you're feeling bored one day and you just want to send us a random email about how you're feeling, you can have at it, man.
Listen, we read it. We are real people. All right, number 55, finishing off our roster is Drizzy Traore. We all know him. Obviously, he's a redshirt sophomore. All right, now in terms of who is actually going to be starting for us, I don't think is there a projection out already?
There are projections.
There's projections
but
out. I
there's
should say
no,
there's no confirmation.
Correct.
Why don't we take a little
Dive.
dive into
Well, we know Jenkins. Jenkins
is definitely
he's
gonna
the
start.
floor general.
Joel Soriano?
Joel Soriano is 99% gonna start. Although Pitino did say
You got to earn it.
he's not guaranteed yet, but I would be very surprised.
Yeah, Pitino said the only places that are penciled in for sure were the 1 and the 4,
Right,
which
which
would
was
be Jenkins and
Ledlam.
Ledlam.
Yeah.
So
Jenkins.
Jenkins and Lenlums, I think, are a lock. I think Joel Soriano is a lock, particularly in the Stony Brook game. I don't know if Joel Soriano is a lock for the rest of the season, but I'm going to go ahead and say
I think
Tuesday night.
I think Rick was just trying to motivate him.
I would assume.
that would be my.
that's
guess.
what I'm saying.
We don't have a true 5 to replace him. So
Correct. So those are three guys right there.
Well, and
Jenkins
then
at the 1,
you got-
Ledlam at the 4, Soriano at the 5. Right. So that's kind of your 2 big men, and you've got your front guy.
And then you got our offhand guard, who's going to be
It's got to be Dingle.
Jordan Dingle.
You would imagine it's got to be Dingle.
I would assume. Right. I think.
And then it's going to be the fight between R.J. Luis and Glenn Taylor and Naheem Aline.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be Glenn Taylor. I mean, Jordan. I mean, obviously it's Jordan Dingle. I mean, he's on the whatever the shooting guard of the year watch list was.
The Jerry West.
Jerry
even though
West.
Jerry West was a point guard.
Gotta love that.
Well named.
They didn't watch enough Jerry West to get there.
Yeah.
They do their homework on those watch
my,
lists.
my family knew Jerry West.
That's true.
Well, yeah, my dad's from East Bank. So we knew him.
That's wild.
And then grew up in he was in East Bank and also in Chesapeake. So in Chesapeake, right across the reservoir is DuPont, where Ray Moss and Jason Williams is from. So lots of sports there.
That's your West Virginia geography.
There you go.
For the day. All right. I think it's going to be Glenn Taylor. I personally think it's going to be Glenn Taylor who fits that last, I guess not last starting spot, but I should say the starting spot we're discussing currently.
I think it's going to be long term RJ Luis,
I think long term,
and I think short term. it's going to be Aline. I think Glenn Taylor is going to get a lot of run. I don't think he's not going to play. I just think that Luis was coming on hard in practice until he broke his hand. So he's still coming back from that. Even if he's able to play, he's not going to. I don't know that he's ready to be the starter. I think they like the leadership from Aline. That's what I think.
I could also Glenn Taylor's looking like he might be a defensive specialist. We might be utilizing him in certain matchups to take on that kind of role of a shutdown small forward.
Hey,
I like having
Glenn
defensive
Taylor.
guys on the court. Continue.
Julius Erving, small forward player of the year watch list.
There you go. So
we got
maybe
3
not.
guys, baby.
Nick, Mr. Watch List over there.
At least he was a small forward.
Yeah, right. At least they got that one right. Hey, you got another watch list.
Even a broken clock, Tim.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look at our out-of-conference schedule. Still, a little early to be talking about conference play, so we'll get to that a little later on in the year. But let's look at this out-of-conference schedule. We start off against Stony Brook, like we said, Carnesecca Arena. Going to be a good, hopefully a big crowd. Should be listen, no disrespect to Stony Brook, but should be a layup of a game. And then we quickly move on to perhaps the biggest, for sure, the biggest game of our non-conference schedule.
Yeah, I would say.
We play Michigan.
Well, yeah.
At Madison Square Garden, Monday night, 6:30, November 13th. Circle it. I think by far the biggest game in our non-conference. Obviously, with the tournament we're in, you never know.
Depending who you get,
theoretically could get somebody better, but
But not at the Garden.
not at the Garden. And as loud as the Stony Brook game is going to be in Carnesecca, that Michigan game is going to be an absolute ruckus.
I would agree. I would certainly hope so.
Yeah, if we're not gonna get loud for that game in MSG, we're not gonna get loud in the game for MSG until the biggies.
I think Michigan will be the first time not necessarily the first time, but I think Michigan, you're really going to see the impact.
It's absolutely going to be the first time.
Because while Stony Brook is the first game, it is, right? It's like the first national platform big St. John's game is the Michigan game.
I mean, yeah, we're
So
expecting.
Stony Brook is like the teaser.
Yeah,
Stony
we're-
Brook's the appetizer, Michigan's the meal.
100%.
100%. And I think, like you said, Stony Brook is. Listen, they're projected to finish 9th in their league in the CAA of 12 teams. They have one guy on the third all CAA team the preseason. Tyler Stevenson Moore. That's the only guy we got to watch out for. He's from Jamaica, Queens. So he's a guy
That's pretty cool.
that we have to worry about just because
Well, his family will be there.
His family would be there, and
You would assume.
guys that play against us that are from Queens always, or New York in general, actually usually try to drop on us.
Well, naturally, I would do the same.
Is it weird that I'm not worried about Sonny Brook?
No, it's not weird, but we just,
Like, no,
we
in years
gotta talk
past,
about
New
it.
era.
in years
New
past,
era.
I'd be afraid. No, in years past, I'd be like, oh, this guy's gonna go off for 30 points.
I guess
like,
you're right. Yeah.
Right now, I'm like,
Nah.
yeah, whatever. We'll
The
figure it
answer
out.
is he may go off for 30 points, but that's okay.
We'll figure it out.
We'll still win by 20.
I'm not
and
worried
then
about it.
It's a new world.
And
It's a
it-
whole,
new-
it's
new
a whole
life.
new
Mi-
world.
Michigan's
everybody.
going to be a nice test because we're going to get a good game in the Garden. That again, they're projected to finish 11th in the Big Ten. So they're not the best team in the Big Ten. But it's still a major conference. So we'll have a good opportunity against a well-managed team in at least some sense of it.
They're still Michigan.
They're still Michigan. They're still a big program.
All right. After Michigan, quick turnaround, Monday to Thursday, we play North Texas. That game is a part of the Charleston Classic. Charleston Classic, beautiful event to go to, by the way, because Charleston, South Carolina is a great place to
Great
visit.
city.
Lots of fun, lots of history, too. Makes it very fun.
I was in Charleston last year,
Oh, yeah.
and it was. I went for a wedding, and actually, I was talking to a guy at a restaurant, St. John's fan. Listens to the podcast.
Wow, listen to that.
So,
Hey,
shout out.
Shout out to the guy in Charleston. Listen to our
Absolutely.
podcast. Go down when you got a chance. Other teams in this tournament, just to give you an idea, if North Texas, if St. John's were to win and stay in the winner's bracket, Dayton LSU is the matchup winner that we would play. In the other side of the bracket, which could result in a championship game, is Houston and Towson.
That would be a premier
Houston-
game.
Houston would be the premier game there. Utah, Wake Forest, that other matchup. So you're really kind of looking for an LSU victory over Dayton, hoping you get to face LSU, and then you're hoping for a win, obviously, and then you're hoping to get Houston in that championship game just to build your out of conference strength of schedule.
And winning is always important.
Well, obviously,
Winning
winning is important.
championships is always nice.
But playing against high quality teams gives you the looks you need
Correct.
in the non conference, which is something we clearly get knocked for regularly in the past for not having strong enough schedules. So, in order to avoid that, let's go out, hope LSU wins, hope Houston wins, and we beat both of them and win the Charleston Classic. I'm sure it comes with a nice trophy. After the Charleston Classic wraps up, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we've got Holy Cross, that game in Carnesecca Arena. Then, Tim, close your ears and eyes. On Friday, December 1st, the Red Storm will take the trip down to Morgantown, West Virginia, for an old-time Big East matchup. That's going to be a tough one. West Virginia's a good team. I think, it'll be another test for us. Once we get Michigan, the tournament, West Virginia, and then Boston College. But those are the really tests we have.
We'll get a sense. I mean, West Virginia is going to be down from where we thought they would be early in the year with Bob Huggins leaving and a lot of players transferring and whatnot. So they're a little in turmoil there. But, again, still a power conference team. So to West Virginia, it's a tough place to play. So you'll still get a good sense of where we're at.
Also, for this game, it's the retribution game for Quinn Slazinski. Since
You're right.
After he left St. John's, after he transferred from Iona to follow Rick Pitino, he is now a Mountaineer.
Very good point, Tim. Very good. That'll be.
So they ran out of spots, and somebody had to get the.
Somebody had to get the boot.
No one told Simeon that, I guess.
It'll be interesting to see that. See how he plays out there. All right, wrapping up, we've got besides that, Wednesday, December 6th, home Carnesecca Sacred Heart. Again, that's a cupcake game. No offense, Sacred Heart. Sunday, December 10th, versus Boston College. That game at the Barclays Center. Should be a good one. Boston College, not necessarily the historic program they've been, but still, again, another big conference player.
Another old Big East matchup.
Another old Big East matchup.
Yeah.
Playing a lot of big conference teams.
That's
this
what we like
year.
to see. That's how you build your resume.
It's funny because in years past, we used to play teams that weren't well known, but it would actually go on to play in the tournament from the smaller conferences, like Colgate, like we played every year. And
College of Charleston.
The Northeast is a good region to pick lower conference schools because we play good basketball up here.
yeah,
All right, Tim, your revenge game, Saturday, December 16th, home against the Fordham Rams.
Yep.
And the number one game Tim circles every year. So
At the Garden.
Hoping he finds the Ram one more time and can knock him out. Maybe Tim finds him, behind in an elevator or something, and he's hoping he gets him.
Well, I gotta make sure we get our press credentials for that game, and
That's it. Sneak on the court.
Sneak it close.
Take his head off.
Maybe I will dress up as a Forum Ram to take on the Forum Ram, and
Now
they'll be like, "Oh, it's a skit." No, it's revenge.
I can tell you that the mascot would be very confused if you showed up looking just like him. I think that might be something we would need to look into. All right, oddly enough, and I know this is, we weren't going to talk about conference play, but we do play UConn on December 23rd, and I play Xavier on December 20th, and UConn on December 23rd before playing Hofstra on December 30th. So those two conference games, just like last year where we had DePaul kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
So a little weird one. I think we kind of just squeezed Hofstra in there.
Last year, you look at that strength of schedule for the out conference. DePaul kind of fit that.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, so that's the out of conference schedule.
Hofstra was a good team last year.
Yeah,
Hofstra wasn't. Hofstra was a good
Hofstra's a
program.
good program.
It's the Fighting Speedy Claxtons.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's good to play. It's good to play the local teams. I like that. I like
appreciate
playing Fordham. I like playing Hofstra. I think we also need to talk about just the varying arenas we're playing in.
Yes.
Not as many Carnesecca games. A lot more games at the Garden. A lot more games.
Rick Pitino said, "I want to play at Madison Square Garden," and Mike Craig said, "Rick, I got you." 8 games at Madison Square Garden for this St. John's Red Storm team. 5 games at Carnesecca Arena. 3 games at UBS Arena.
Yep, not USB, but UBS.
That's it. So
and one at the Barclays.
and well, one at the
We're
Barclays.
really hitting the whole.
We
area.
are hitting the whole area, which is good.
It's
by
good.
the way. Good for
No, that's great.
recruiting.
That's great.
Good for recruiting. Good for spreading the name around town. And again,
Claim it all as ours.
really reclaiming Madison Square Garden as the home of St. John's.
Absolutely,
basketball.
that's huge.
I'm excited to see when Vincent orders a double Tito's and seltzer at UBS. What happens this time?
Oh, let me tell you. Let's hope. They've had a year, Tim. They've had a year. Let's hope they pull it together. Because at that Kansas game, Craig wasn't there.
I wasn't there. I have no idea what you're talking
Me,
about.
me and Craig were at
Beautiful.
a wedding that failed.
See, but Tim remembers. Tim remembers. Anyway,
I mean, it did. Could have went to the Kansas game.
the wedding
Yep.
was fun. The marriage, not so much.
Yeah.
Apparently for that couple. They go up. I order. Hey, I'd like a Tito's and club soda. Oh, sorry, we don't have club soda. Oh, that's unfortunate. Could I just have Tito's? Sure. Single or double? I'll have a double. The sweet bartender hands me what can only be described as the Madison Square Garden beer cup full of vodka. I would say, oh boy. I then went to somewhere else and said, hey, can I get a club soda? And they go, no, we don't sell club soda individually. You have to buy a drink. Well, can I have a Tito's and club soda? Yeah, sure. So she gave me a Tito's and club soda. I already had my own little cup of vodka on the side. So then I had to go purchase a Sprite somewhere, and then I could mix that because, listen, maybe I should have had the whole cup.
You needed
that Kansas game, I could have used it, but it was certainly, I think they were still working out the kinks for
Clearly.
sure.
Well, hopefully they figured it out by now.
They've had a lot of Islanders games, so
That's
my
true.
hope is that by now they've gotten it down.
I gotta say the old track team that ripped the shots trying to say like, oh, we'll make our own screwdrivers at the Garden. They would have been very proud of that moment.
Yeah, they certainly would have. All right, so we've run through the non-conference. We've run through the roster. Let's go a little big picture here, guys. Obviously, the hype is high. The excitement is high. We're pumped for this team.
Well, let's talk hype real quick. I got something I just looked up.
All right.
Oh boy.
I was on Ticketmaster looking at first 2 games for the Stony Brook Carnesecca. Almost all is certified resellers. Standard admission was I think it was 6 rows had standard admission left.
So almost sold out at Carnesecca.
Almost sold out at Carnesecca for
Wow.
a Stony Brook
That's
start
pretty
of the
good.
season.
It was pretty good.
Love that.
Then I went and looked at
Michigan.
the Michigan game. The lower bowl only had 3 sections that had any seats left for standard admission. And each one of those had 1 or 2 rows, and that is it. And those were the corners.
Nice.
Everything else was upper bowl that was left.
There you go. That is hype right there, right? Packing them in.
That's Patino effect, baby.
That's 100%. That's exactly what that is. Patino effect. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. If it's nothing else, it's going to be an exciting year, at least at the beginning, because the hype is high. The people are willing to come out, and it's cool. It's going to be cool to see what product we put on the court. All right, big picture though. Let's do a little predictions here. How high are the ceilings? Okay, the roof is the ceiling, but how high do we think that roof is? Craig, you're up first, my good friend.
Oh man,
I want
You want full Kool-Aid?
I want where we finish in the Big East tournament. Not the Big East. Where we finish in the Big East tournament, and beyond that, anything else.
Look, so the season starts tomorrow. So we've been waiting for this. So, look, I think we finished in the top 3 of the conference regular season.
Craig, as always, just doesn't listen to the rules.
Oh, God,
I
I
asked
love it.
where we finished in the Big East tournament and beyond that. What does he give me? Where we finished in the Big East. Immediately starts off. I think we're going to finish in the top 3. Oh, okay. I didn't ask that question. Good, Craig. Continue.
Craig's first answer. 22 wins. That's not, Craig, that's not the question.
We're gonna win 9 conference. Craig, that's not
I'm
what I
gonna be
asked.
real. I'm real honest with you. I wasn't listening. You said a lot of the words.
All of the above.
All right. What do we got, Craig? Just
So
whatever you want.
I think we play in the Big East championship and lose.
Wow. Guy didn't even hesitate about Friday. All right, Nick. What do you? Wait. Whoa. Sorry. Roll back here.
You want
We
more?
make the St. John. We make the Big East championship game
So we play on Friday.
I think that's
on
a
a given
season
now.
on a season where we're going to the NCAA tournament.
I mean, yeah.
All right.
I said we finished in the top 3 of the best conference in the country. Of course, I think we're going to the tournament.
All right. Nick, what do you got?
I think we're probably making the semifinals of the Big East.
So Friday.
So Friday.
So we're making it to Friday. I don't know. I don't think we're making it to the championship
You
game.
think we lose on Friday?
I think we lose on Friday, but we make it to Friday for the first time in 20
Friday would be
some odd
sweet,
years.
man.
I've never experienced that in my life, so I wouldn't
I
even
did when I
know.
was a child.
I was, 5? When was the last time we made it? 2001?
2000.
2000? I was 4 probably.
No, you were 5.
No,
you were 4 because
I
you're
was
right.
4.
You're right. Yeah, it's
Most of
early
the
in
year
the
I'm
year.
4, yeah.
Oh, sweet. What do you got? You've got us losing, going to the NCAA tournament.
I have us going to the NCAA tournament, and I have us going to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
We
All
were,
right.
we were.
Daddy Rick. baby,
Timothy,
taking us
what
to
do
the
we got,
promised
Tim?
land.
I mean, I was definitely a little overhyped last year
Hey,
on
you
my
were.
projections.
You were.
I'm
We don't need to talk about it.
gonna push mine down a little bit. We make it Friday. Close game. I'm predicting an overtime loss on
Oh,
Friday.
Very specific. I like this.
Yes.
Oh, very specific.
So
Right.
we can dial that back
Place
if I'm right.
Place your bets now.
Wow, you're
And-
trying to crush my heart.
But we make it to the round of 32 in the tournament.
It doesn't even
Win a
have-
game. First
Win
time
a
in
game.
23
Win a
game.
game.
years? 23 years.
Craig just has us going to the tournament. You need no specification.
Well, you cut me off. I didn't know.
Oh, that hurt your feelings.
You did a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry,
You
Craig.
did a little bit.
You gotta
right.
use your big boy voice.
Where
I think we get to the second weekend. I think we get Sweet 16 like Nick. I agree.
all that just to say the same shit as Nick. Great, thanks. Wasting my damn
Mooching.
time. All right,
But actually, if I want to get a little more specific on the Sweet 16 game, I think we actually go.
No, I don't
we
need-
lose
we
by
don't need to hear
3.5.
Who do you think's starting in that game, Craig?
yeah, I'd like to know. Yeah, tell me your starting 5. No,
So the way it works is the first basket goes to Joel Soriano, and then the second basket goes to.
Led by
Sorry.
right here.
so I think that we make it to Friday. I don't think we make it past Friday of the Big East tournament, but I
I'll be the only one
believe
watching on Saturday.
I believe this team is an Elite 8 team.
Ooh,
So.
spicy.
Riddle me that.
Elite 8 of the NIT or.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Craig. Don't even.
Craig
don't even
got real
speak that
dark.
into the universe.
We don't speak those words here
Sorry,
anymore.
sorry.
This is Rick Pitino's house. We don't speak those words anymore,
That's
Craig.
right. We don't play the. We don't play.
There's
the
only
NIT.
one tournament for us.
That's right.
Um,
How dare I? I'm sorry.
You bite your tongue.
Especially when they messed up the NIT. Nobody wants to talk about the NIT these days. In case.
the poor NIT.
It's
Well, that's not the poor NIT. It's the poor small conference team. They said, you know what? We don't like you guys anyway.
At one time, the NIT was great.
It was great.
It was a great
Back when the NIT
second
was
tournament, and it's now it's not. Anyway, I digress. All right. Well, guys, one more final thought here before opening day to start off the season. Craig, you went first last time, and you absolutely blew it. Nick, we're gonna go. You go first here, kid.
My final thoughts are I don't know, man. I guess it's just that I'm excited.
Jeez, Tim, my bad. Next time, don't worry. Next week, you're first on every question.
Sounds good.
You know what?
Anything.
I don't even want to go.
All right, Tim. Give me one final start to kick off the season. What do you got?
My final thought to kick off the season. We rebuilt. We are remastered. We are ready to go.
Oh, look. Right, you two. You now lost the privilege. You don't get a final thought on this episode.
I don't know if I can really top
Look at that. Look at that. Ryman. Oh, what a guy. What a great way. What a great way to kick off the season. Any last thing from you two?
I don't want to top that. I'm
That's
just gonna
all right.
let it settle. You just gotta let it.
Nick,
let it,
have
breathe.
you composed yourself?
No, I knew I was not finished with my statement, and you jumped in on me, so I'm gonna let it rock now.
All right, fair enough. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Red Storm Chasers. For Craig, Tim, and Nick, Vincent, go Johnnies, keep chasing.